Well, welcome everyone to the Peeps Time.
Fruits come from different trees and plants, each playing a vital role in nature and our diet. From towering trees to small bushes, these plants provide us with delicious and nutritious fruits. Let's explore different fruits and the trees they grow on. A star fruit comes from a star fruit tree. A durian comes from a durian tree. A mangosteen comes from a mangosteen tree. A sapodilla comes from a sapodilla tree. A rambutan comes from a rambutan tree. A sarsop comes from a sarsop tree. Custard apple comes from a custard apple tree. A longan comes from a longan tree. A loquat comes from a loquat tree. Camu camu comes from a camu camu tree. An ackee comes from an ackee tree. A jabuticaba comes from a jabuticaba tree. A marong comes from a marong tree. A mamancio comes from a mamancio tree. A langsat comes from a langsat tree. A salak comes from a salak palm. A breadfruit comes from a breadfruit tree. A balimbi comes from a balimbi tree. A feijoa comes from a feijoa tree. A white sapote comes from a white sapote tree. A chempedak comes from a chempedak tree. A santal comes from a santal tree. K-apple comes from a K-apple tree. An apricot comes from an apricot tree. A grapefruit comes from a grapefruit tree. Kiwi grows on a kiwi vine. Passion fruit grows on a passion fruit vine. A blueberry grows on a blueberry bush. A raspberry grows on a raspberry bush. A blackberry grows on a blackberry bush. A strawberry grows on a strawberry plant. A dragon fruit grows on a dragon fruit cactus. An avocado comes from an avocado tree. Cashew comes from a cashew tree. An olive comes from an olive tree. Coconut comes from a coconut palm. A fig comes from a fig tree. A date comes from a date palm. A papaya comes from a papaya tree. A guava comes from a guava tree. A lychee comes from a lychee tree. A jackfruit comes from a jackfruit tree. A persimmon comes from a persimmon tree. An apple comes from an apple tree. A banana grows on a banana plant. An orange comes from an orange tree. A lemon comes from a lemon tree. A pear comes from a pear tree. A peach comes from a peach tree. A plum comes from a plum tree. Cherry comes from a cherry tree. A pomegranate comes from a pomegranate tree. Kindly like, share, and subscribe to Peeps Time. Thanks for watching.